The illusion of European unity cracked further in London, where Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk laid bare the deepening rifts among EU leaders over confiscating frozen Russian assets. While there was broad agreement on the necessity of targeting Moscow's war chest, key economic heavyweights, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain, hesitated, wary of the financial and political fallout. The Guardian reports that concerns over the euro and the stability of Europe's banking system fueled the resistance. Poland is very strongly pressing for this, but let's be real. As we are not in the Eurozone, our voice in this discussion will not be decisive, Tusk admitted, acknowledging the limits of Warsaw's influence. Following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Western nations froze approximately $300 billion in Russian assets, much of it held in European, American, and British government bonds. While Baltic states and Northern European countries push for immediate confiscation to aid Ukraine, Politico notes that the EU's economic powerhouses remain reluctant. At a press conference in London, Tusk intensified his calls for Europe to assume greater responsibility in supporting Ukraine, warning that disunity only strengthens Russia's hand. The entire continent recognizes that Europe must step up its commitments, he stated, referencing recent tensions between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and US President Donald Trump during their Oval Office encounter, a moment that sent shockwaves through both Washington and Brussels.
Ukraine requires continued support and as strong a position as possible before negotiations with Russia. No one doubts who is the aggressor, who is the victim, and whose side Europe is on in this conflict. On the Ukrainian side, of course, everyone is also convinced that Europe needs to take on more and more responsibility and start bearing those burdens of building up the arms industry, increasing aid to Ukraine in times of war, and increasing NATO spending on its defense budgets.
With the US increasingly unpredictable in its stance on Ukraine, European leaders are under pressure to bolster Kyiv's position. Yet despite the EU's internal frictions, Tusk stressed the necessity of maintaining transatlantic cohesion, emphasizing that European security remains intertwined with strong US ties.
I want to emphasize it very strongly that the absolutely most important thing for us, for Polish security, for European security, for the future of Ukraine, is to maintain the closest possible ties with the United States. I know that such a narrative is also being created, especially after this one. After that very strange Friday, after those events at the White House, which actually would have to, I guess, that's how I feel, divide Europe and the United States. And we can't let that happen.
However, divisions between European nations and the lingering diplomatic fallout from what he cryptically referred to as that very strange Friday cast a long shadow over any claims of unity. With Russia watching closely, the cracks in the EU's front are becoming harder to ignore.